Dear students, I'm Dr.Nidhi Sharma, Associate Professor, p.g.govt.college, Jhalawar, Rajasthan. Today, students, in continuation of my earlier parts of the reproductive system, I shall tell you something about the fertilization. Here, as can be seen in this diagram, you can see an ovary which has been cut open and the egg has escaped from the ovary and has been collected by the fimbria of the fallopian tube. The ovary, in the cut open ovary, you can see the developing follicles, and finally you can see ovulation has taken place by the release of the ova or the egg into the fallopian tube, and the remaining part after the release of the ova, the corpus luteum, can also be seen in the diagram of the ovary. Now, in the fallopian tube, after the fertilization has taken place, you can see some sperms traveling to the egg. First, mitosis takes place within the fallopian tube. After the first mitosis, the zygote undergoes rapid division to form many cells, which is called as cleavage. After cleavage, a small ball of cells which continuously divide by the mitotic process, a morula is formed. The morula travels to the uterus where it is known as the blastocyst. This blastocyst gets implanted in the endometrium lining of the uterus. This process is known as implantation. Here we will discuss about the fertilization. Now, what is fertilization? It is the joining of sperm and egg. When the sperm head enters the egg, this happens with in 6 stages. When you see the egg membrane, it has got a jelly coat shown by the light yellow color. The next are the protein receptors. The next lining is the vitelline lining shown by the dark brown color. And then the white lining is the egg plasma membrane. The egg plasma membrane has small cortical granules which will release corticals after the fertilization to form the cortical granular membrane. In the first stage, the sperm head contacts the jelly coat layer of the egg. The second stage can be called as the acrosomal reaction stage, wherein the acrosome bursts open, which has got an enzyme hyaluronidase, which reacts with the protein receptors of the egg membrane, which is the hydrolytic enzymes are released. The third stage of the fertilization is the growth of acrosomal process. A small acrosomal process is released and it touches the egg vitelline membrane. And you can see a prominent sperm nucleus which is haploid shown by the purple color. The fourth stage is the fusion of the plasma membrane of the sperm and egg. The fifth stage continues as the entry of sperm nucleus into the egg. The sixth stage is the cortical reaction, where cortical granules release. The granules form a thick membrane, which is the fertilization envelope, which shows that the fertilization has occurred. No further entry of sperms is possible. Next, the zygote goes into division, which is known as cleavage. Here, as you can see in the first diagram, the zygote divides into two cells, then it divides into four cells, and so on. At the end of it, a ball of dividing cells is established, which is known as the morula. You can say repeated mitotic divisions of sperm of zygote. First step is to become multicellular. The second step is unequal divisions, establish body plan. Different cells receive different portions of egg cytoplasm and therefore different regulatory signals, which form three different layers. Here you can see the cleavage shown in these photographs. First is the photograph of a zygote which divides twice. Then it continuously divides to form a morula. The morula becomes a blastula by the process of blastulation. Here, this is a gastrula which the, is formed by the process of gastrulation. This establishes three cell layers: the ectoderm, here shown by the blue cells, which forms the outer layers of the skin, the nails, the teeth, the nerves. The mesoderms, that is, some cells which are shown by the red color, develop to form the mesoderm, from wherein the blood, bone, and muscles develop, and the yellow cells of the gastrula shows the inner lining, which is the endoderm, which forms the digestive system. Here you can see the placenta. Placenta is the place from wherein materials are exchanged across the membranes between the mother and the fetus. This is a fetus, developing fetus. You can see the umbilical cord, you can see the placenta, and the you can see the uterus in which the fetus is developing. Small portion of the placenta has been cut open, and here you can see the material portion of the placenta and the fetal portion of the placenta, which is the chorion. Also, you can see the umbilical cord, wherein you can see the umbilical arteries, umbilical veins, and here you can see the fetal arterioles, the fetal venules, and the chorionic villus containing fetal capillaries. And you can see the maternal blood pool. And here you can see the maternal portion of the placenta showing the maternal veins and maternal arteries.